It's time now for Focus, and Mexico's ongoing drug war has become known for its tens of thousands of murders and disappearances. But there are many other victims that we hear little about, those who are forced from their homes by the violence. It's impossible to know the real impact, but research groups estimate that between 160,000 and 1.6 million Mexicans have been displaced by insecurity. Today, our reporters take us to Mexico's violence-ridden western state of Guerrero to hear what happens when drug cartels force you to leave everything behind.
This makeshift shelter is a far cry from where Isidro lived until a year ago.
These shacks that you see here, we made them ourselves so that we could all have somewhere to sleep. We've had up to 172 people here. It gets very tight.
Like hundreds of thousands of Mexicans all over the country, when drug cartels showed up in their village, Isidro and his neighbors had no choice but to flee.
They wanted us to go work for them. That's why they burned down our houses. They make you sell drugs, kidnap, do their bad work for them, fight with other groups who might come into their territory.
In Isidro's state of Guerrero, almost no villages have been left untouched by the violence. Many of those displaced end up far from home.
Our town is over there. It was very hard to walk because it's very steep. You have to hold on to shrubs and rocks. There were women carrying children.
It's too dangerous to go to Isidro's home now, but the mayor of a neighboring area agreed to take us to similar villages. It's carnival in the little village of Laguna Seca. But a year ago, these same streets were deserted after a drug cartel arrived.
They told us to go to the commissioner's office. We thought the commissioner had called for us, but it wasn't him. They were going to set everything on fire, and we didn't know why. They killed 2 men.
Lilia was there that day, and like everybody else, was made to watch the executions. Afterwards, they all grabbed what they could and fled.
9. La de Adrián, 10. La de Don José, 11. 12, 13.
As they count the families that still haven't come back, it's clear life is far from normal. But Lilia says she couldn't afford to live anywhere else. She came back 2 weeks ago and is still adjusting to being back home.
I was away for a year. You can imagine how much I lost in that year. My chickens. I need to buy a horse. I have no way to get around now.
She knows it's a gamble to be here, and things could change any minute.
This is my home. With or without the danger, I came back. I knelt and prayed to God when I got here.
A few hundred meters away in the next village, it's a different story.
As you can see, this is a town that's been completely abandoned. The church is there, and the school with its basketball court. But honestly, it's all totally abandoned.
In this village, no one's dared to come back. Although it might look humble, this state is the hub for lucrative opium production in Mexico.
We're really close to where the trafficking routes are, where illegal goods are transported. So these villages get used as bases because they're close to where drug crops are brought through.
The government's overwhelmed by the violence. Although this mayor talked to us freely, the state government wouldn't speak to France 24.
These criminal groups clearly have a lot of power, so that limits the government, especially the municipality, because it's impossible for us to provide the locals who left the guarantee that if they return, things will be peaceful and safe.
Back in the shelter, Isidro is certain that it's too risky to return to his village. The government gives them a tiny food stipend, but they've had no real progress in getting rehomed yet.
There are families that get desperate. We don't want to be living in this situation. It's a desperate state.
While Isidro's family scrapes by, thousands more people across the country face the same desperation and the decision to stay or go.